Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Today we have a special guest. Her name is Julia. She's a smart, focused real estate investor who currently owns 5 properties totaling 10 units. Julia, welcome to the show. Super excited to have you on so you can share some value to the audience today. And why don't you just share the audience a little bit about your background and just how you got here.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me today. A little bit about me. I started investing in real estate 4 years ago, but if I'm being honest, the journey probably started even 4 years before that, with a little bit of analysis paralysis and just that fear of taking the leap. So how I really got started was I was working for an attorney at the time that was also having built a house flipping business. And being his assistant and in the car with him and listening to the podcasts and hearing him talk with the different kitchen cabinet people and all the logistics that went into that, I really got a front row education of, wow, like this is so cool. And I was learning through his experience. So fast forward to the 4 years ago when I started investing in real estate. It was 2021, March. COVID was very much still a thing. And everyone was like, Julia, what the heck are you doing? You're competing against cash offers and, it's really not the time to buy. The market's going to crash. And there's always going to be that level of noise. But my instinct and my intuition was like, no, this is something that I really want to do. So I just stuck with it and I bought my first rental property. It was a duplex, and we can talk more about that. But that was my foot in the door and my 26th birthday present, because I closed just a few days after my birthday. So it's
Wow.
a big birthday present.
No, definitely. That's the best birthday present you could ask for right there. Yeah, an asset. Well, let's talk about that. I mean, your first deal you said was a duplex. What led up to you getting that deal? Let's talk about a little bit, about some of the acquisition that was involved with that. And then now you can kind of phase that after you answer that question into now you obviously have 5 properties with 10 units, right? So you got a little bit of taste with the duplex. What made you, want to scale from there?
Absolutely. So how I got into this property to begin with was I was really looking at all of my options, and there's many barriers of entry into the real estate market, but something that my husband and I chose was house hacking. We realized that we were able to leverage our first time home buyer. We were able to put as little as 5% down, and the property had a tenant who is also still with us in that unit. It was a good transition. But yeah, so the house hacking method was what we chose to do to kind of get in there and with low money down. And that's how we got started. And I guess I'll also add, we were both working remotely because of COVID as well. So we had the flexibility to move. So we left Boston, Massachusetts to Rhode Island. And we just also really believed that the best way forward was to be boots on the ground for our first property. We did not want to invest out of state without really being there and immersing ourselves in the market. But yeah, that's how we got started.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how did you finance, your other deals after that? And, how has your approach changed now now that you have more experience with the process overall?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Sure. I mean, it's different, and I can walk through each acquisition. And now that we have built up a portfolio, we have a lot more options. But when you're first starting off, you really don't. So, for instance, I wasn't married at the time, so I was able to use my first-time home buyer on the first property. It was a conventional mortgage, and I saved up my 5% down. The second property was a single family home, and my husband was able to use his first time home buyer. And because it was a single family home and a bit cheaper of a purchase price, he was able to put as little as 3% down. And if you remember, in the COVID years, these are rates that are in the 3% mark. So we were able to really not have a super hefty down payment, especially with those first two acquisitions. For the third one, we were actually able to use a primary residence mortgage. So we were able to use 15% down. And how we were funding these was we still have our W-2 jobs, but also just the compounding rent roll that we were earning as well as an additional form of income. So that was really how we were able to save. And then for the fourth property, this was an all cash buy. We used hard and private money for this. And then later refinanced into a DSCR loan. And then lastly, the unit that we just closed on, a 4-unit in December, we actually were able to take out an equity line of credit on that first home that I bought back in 2021 for to help with the purchase price of that for the down payment.
Wow. So sounds like you got obviously a lot of experience, right? Different deal structures. So I'm curious to know, did you have a mentor that, helps you kind of learn more different strategies on how to maneuver with taking down these deals? Or is this kind of just like, I'm learning on the fly, I'm just learning through experience? Why don't you walk us through that?
Absolutely. In the beginning, definitely learning on the fly. I didn't
Mm,
even know that you could put as little as 5% down had my mortgage lender told me otherwise.
yeah.
So once we figured that out, and he was actually the one that said to Julia, like, just put that one in your name and then have Kevin use his first time home buyer. So we were
Mm.
able to really double end that, which was great.
As far as, metrics and then buy box criteria, when you're sourcing your properties and you're saying, hey, I'm going to take this deal down, do you have a specific buy box criteria that you and your husband are looking for? Do you base it off the state? Do you base it off, is it a duplex? Is it a triplex? Like what are you looking for?
Absolutely. Our criteria is mainly value add. We're always looking for something that we can get for under market value for the purchase price, and then being able to renovate it, bring it up, to market standard rent, and, hopefully gain on the forced appreciation there. I think something when it comes to buy boxes, and especially in this market with interest rates so high, and you
Mhm.
cannot just solely rely on cash flow. Yes, it's important, but there's so many other factors that go into real estate and how you can build your wealth through real estate. So I like to play in the value add properties.
I'm so glad you said this because too many people are not talking about that, right? They're painting this picture to where it's like, oh, you can just do this one option. It's like you're going to be golden. It's like, no, there's other avenues you got to look out for, right? No matter what.
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
and speaking through experience too, insurance rates are through the roof right now.
100%.
And I think people aren't accounting for it as much as they should in their miscellaneous, costs when they're really penciling out their numbers. So if you're only looking at cash flow, you're going to be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, yeah, that's an understatement for sure. So the properties that you have right now, are you managing them yourself? Are you working with a property manager? What does that look like for you as well?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
So I took on the brave undertaking of self-managing the portfolio
Oh, wow.
myself.
Wow.
Yes.
Why is that?
Well, to start, I mean, because we started with house hacking and we were
Mhm.
living in our properties, I mean, it's hard to hide that you're the landlord when you're living in the property. So I truthfully fell into it by accident. But once I learned, tenant relations, creating, standard operating procedures and being really organized, I realized that we were able to save so much money if we were
Mm.
able to, manage it ourselves. And when you spend the time to create these, what I call my SOPs and you stick to them, you are able to have a life, manage your rentals, and still have a full-time job. And the biggest like needle mover for me is how much you get to save by not outsourcing. And I'll also add, when you do
Mm.
things yourself and when you do shop around to see what things cost out on the market to outsource self-managing or some portions of renovation, whatever it is, you'll have a really good understanding of the value of what you're paying for. And if someone's trying to overcharge you or like you get what you pay for. So having that expertise and the firsthand experience, you'll know if you're paying the right price.
No, 100%. I like that. So is eventually, let's say you scale to, over, 20, 30 plus properties, will you eventually look into maybe transitioning that off, or do you feel like with the SOPs and the processes that you've really, built in place with the existing, properties you have now, do you feel like that could be duplicated no matter how much you scale from?
I think it can. I think yes and no. I think if we were to continue to grow our portfolio in Rhode Island, we have such a strong team there between handymans, electricians, plumbers. I do think with just printing out my SOPs and handing it over to someone internally, I think we would be able to self-manage it ourselves. Or if I were to hire like a virtual bookkeeper and keep it in-house, I think that would be fine. I mean, of course, if we were to scale to the West Coast or somewhere that's like really out of reach, I think we would definitely need to hire a property manager, but we're still within the bounds of which I feel comfortable that we would keep it in-house as long as possible.
I love that. I love that. I love how you took the bulls by your horn and just said, you know what, I'm going to make my own process, right? That's the way to do it. I feel like so many people eventually, when they get involved, they get their foot in the door, they just want to pass the baton immediately on to somebody. And it's like, wait, have you ever tried to do it yourself, right? First to see where you can take it. But obviously, everybody has a different, risk appetite. So, but kudos to you for doing that. So, what is your long-term vision, right? I mean, are you aiming to eventually grow to 50 units, 100 properties? What does that look like for you and your husband, where you're looking to take things?
Yeah, I would love to grow as much as I can. I don't have a set ceiling set for myself yet.
I love it.
Um, yeah, we'll see when the time comes as we keep growing. But no, this is something that I definitely want to do full time. I really do love it. There's I mean, there's times that are hard when you have, a certain tenant conflict and you got to keep your cool and you have to make sure everything's professional because there really is high risk. But, you know, especially with the renovation that we have going on, there's a lot of things where it could feel really overwhelming. But at the end of the day, real estate has given me so much to my personal net worth and just letting me live a lifestyle that I don't see how I would be able to have otherwise. So sky's the limit. So we'll see what number breaks me.
Yeah. No, there's no number that's gonna break you. That's the mentality, right? Of course.
Right.
So, is there any creative strategies that you are currently exploring or have, ideas on implementing? I'm curious to get your take and your opinion on, seller financing, just any creative strategies that you may be looking to utilize at all.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Absolutely. I mean, I can give you one example. I mean, recently we were driving to our renovation and I saw this like abandoned house. It was like a really weird, funky looking property. But I just did what anyone would do driving for dollars. I looked up the GIS map of the address to find the owner, called them directly, and just pitched and said, "Hey, like I see the windows are boarded up.
Yeah.
Can we make something happen here?" So I think just not being afraid to just pick up the phone. And you'll always hear about like creative financing strategies or, oh, call the owner. Like maybe you don't have to use a bank. Oh, use other people's money. Like, yes, all of those options are there and available. And they're things that I've leveraged in the past as well. But I think sometimes just cut out the middleman and figure out who that owner is and just put your name in the hat.
100%. I think sometimes, a lot out there get information overload, right? And the biggest thing is just really taking action, right? Like you said, just picking up the phone. You're going to make mistakes, especially when you start, and you just have to get used to it because it's only going to get you more comfortable. It's only going to iron and sharpen up your skills. And plus, you just never know. I mean, that one phone call that you make, you get that one deal, it could change your life, right? But you wouldn't know unless you actually take the jump, right? So, but that's awesome. I love that you're,
Absolutely.
doing, driving for dollars. I mean, that is something that anybody could get involved in. Just put a full tank of gas, 40 or $50, you're off to the races. You never know what you can get out of that, right? Look for, overgrown grass, boarded up windows, whatever it is, and just make the call, right? So, what's something you wish more new
Exactly. I
investors?
mean,
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
oh, sorry. I was just going to add, I've even done direct mail campaigns, and I think a piece of advice there would be, you know, don't be afraid to like tell them that you are who you are. You don't have to pretend to be this like big corporation or like hide behind that. I mean, when
Mhm.
I do a direct mail campaign, I'm putting a picture of my husband, my dog, I'm your neighbor, I'm your friend.
Yep.
I this is a part of my daily walk where I pass your house, and I like you'll get a response. And I think just keep in mind, like people want to connect with people. Just be
Mhm.
yourself, and you don't have to, hide behind this corporate veil that I feel like a lot of real estate investors will tell you, especially when you're early on and just starting out. It's like just own it. I'm new.
Yep.
I'm here and I'm ready. So
Ye
just you can be creative, and even with snail mail. Good old snail mail can get you a response.
100%. And I love the personal approach that you put in there, right? A picture your husband, picture your dog. It just makes it more relatable, right? You're a human being. Because a lot of times, like as you said, a lot of the people follow the corporate structure and it just looks very dry, right? It's something that where someone sees it and they're like, I deal with this all the time. So it's all about doing something different, right? Doing what other people are not doing and just implementing that. You never know where you can take it, right? So that's awesome. That's amazing advice. What is something you wish, maybe more new investors understood before, jumping into their first property or just getting involved in real estate in general, right? Whether they want to do wholesaling, novations, fix and flips. There's so many different avenues you can jump into inside of this game. So, what is just something you wish more new investors understood before getting in?
Yeah, I think new investors need to be a little more open-minded. Something that I always like to preach is have your plan A, B, and C. If your initial strategy is I want to be a long-term rental investor, that's great and I hope it works out. But you'll never know what's going to happen in a market. So plan, can this maybe turn into an Airbnb? Is there a hospital nearby and I can turn this into a midterm rental? You want to have different strategies. And it's not always going to be perfect, but to have that plan A, B, and C just in case something goes wrong. Because I feel like a lot of times investors will try to put this square peg in a round hole and you're just going to be bleeding money. you need to know when you need to change and pivot your strategy.
I love that. I
And
love
it's
that.
okay.
Yep. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and it's okay. Like if you initially thought it was gonna be a long-term rental and if something's not working, like put your pride and your ego aside. Like you don't, it's gonna be okay. Just pivot.
That's right. That's right. There's always an exit strategy. There's always a different plan that you can do, right? You just have to adapt, right? Be quick and move with urgency. That's a big thing that, I can give advice on as well, right? Time is not on your side, but you also have to just be proactive in what you're doing and you'll get some success. But Julia, I honestly wish we had more time together, but unfortunately we don't. But for those that want to, reach out to you or maybe have any opportunities to work with you, I'm not sure what that looks like for you. Why don't you just share to the audience on what that looks like and just how they can find you?
Absolutely. I wish we had more time too. This was fun. But for anyone that's listening, you can reach me at the Wendy's Real Estate on Instagram, and you can contact me through the messenger there or shoot me an email.
Beautiful, beautiful. We'll definitely grab those links and we will drop those in the YouTube description, guys, so you know exactly where to reach out and find Julia. But Julia, it was an absolute pleasure having you on today. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day. I know you're probably wanted to be hunting for more units, but you took the time to speak with me. So wishing you nothing but the best here in your future endeavors for you and your husband and your family, and all the best to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Christian. Take care.
Thank you. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode as much as I did. And as always, my friends, we will see you on the next episode. Take care.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.